What's poppin', everybody? How you guys doing? My name is Manny, and this is the Kit Game. Today, I bring you guys another video. Alright? Middleweight division just got a whole lot more interesting. Alright, but before we get into that, I just want to ask you guys to like, comment, or subscribe, and share. Put in the comment section, do you agree with my predictions? Do you disagree? Alright, we'll have a little discussion down there. Alright, but without further ado, let's get into it. Marvin Vettori versus Darren Till. They just announced the fight last night, and boy, do I love it. Alright, the middleweight division, that top 5, spicy. There's definitely some fights to be had, and some great fights at that. Alright, but Marvin Vettori versus Darren Till. It's going to be a firefight. It's going to be a firefight. I like it. I like it more for Marvin Vettori rather than Darren Till. I just don't think Darren Till is like as well-rounded as Marvin Vettori is. Alright, Marvin Vettori had the closest fight with Israel Adesanya, and he's making his way up the middleweight division. And I see that fight happening again in the future. If Marvin Vettori beats Darren Till, he puts himself in a position to fight for the #1 contender. Alright? I really like that fight for Marvin Vettori. Because Darren Till, I mean, we all know Darren Till for the wrong reasons, getting choked out by Woodley and getting mollywopped by Masvidal. But at middleweight, I think he found his division to stay at. I don't necessarily see him beating anybody in the top 5 because he's just not that well-rounded, but he's still a great fighter. And a win over Darren Till really puts Marvin Vettori in that conversation. Right, he already put himself in that conversation when he fought Jack Hermanson. I love that fight. I remember watching that live. I was like, I knew who Marvin Vettori is, but I like this dude. He's not overly brandish. He's Italian, so he kind of got that Italian accent, you know. He puts up in the ring, or in the octagon rather. I just think he's more well-rounded, man. His takedowns, his wrestling. I think it's going to be a little too much for Darren Till. Because Darren Till, he's comfortable on the feet, but as we've seen in the Robert Whittaker fight, he doesn't fight too well off his back. He just kind of sits there and tries to survive. And that's not really going to get you into the championship fights, you know. But that's just how I see it playing out. Marvin Vettori takes it either by unanimous decision or like a 3rd round TKO or something. Because that dude can fight. And I think he's here to stay. But let's get on to the next fight, man. Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. Boy, is that a fun fight. Not only is it a fun fight, it's the fight for the #1 contender. Alright? Robert Whittaker's coming off of, I think 2 big wins, because he fought Darren Till, then he fought Cannonier, yeah. 2 big wins. Still showing that he's battle-tested, that he's a championship fighter. He took Jared Cannonier's best shots on the chin. I mean, he did get stumbled in the 3rd round, but overall, he showed that he's a mixed martial artist. He'll piece you up from the outside, and he'll take you down when he needs to. And I think he learned from his loss against Adesanya, because if you rewatch that fight, Robert Whittaker was lunging at Adesanya. That's what Adesanya wants you to do, because Adesanya is a great counterpuncher. He's a great counterpuncher. All right, that's why Adesanya Romero was so trash, because you put two counterpunches together, and when Romero landed that overhand left, Adesanya didn't want no smoke. But you take two gun-shy fighters, it's not going to be great. And that's what happened with Adesanya Romero. And when Whitaker was lunging himself at Adesanya, it just left himself open for that leaning left hook that put him on his ass. I think he learned from that to be a lot more patient, pick his shots from the outside, and when you get too comfortable, he's going to take you down and trying to grind out that win. And I respect that. He's learning from his losses. And I think this refined Robert Whitaker, with a win over Costa, that refined Robert Whitaker is a great opponent for Adesanya, because that fight is going to be technical. That's going to be a masterclass striking fight with Whitaker trying to mix in the takedowns. That fight is going to be amazing if Robert Whitaker beats Paulo Costa, right? We don't know where Costa's head is at. He got humped in the butt in the last fight. As a man, that must be demoralizing, especially in a sport that is so testosterone and like manly driven, because these are men fighting. All right, so for Costa, watching himself get humped in the butt by somebody that he hates isn't really like the best thing for his mental. But we're gonna see if he's that scary dude in the middleweight division. I just don't think that Costa is as good as Robert Whitaker is at his best. I mean, Paulo Costa isn't really a one-hitter quitter. Let's say like a Jared Cannonier. He's a volume power puncher. He doesn't one right straight and you're like KO. No. He's going to try to push you against the cage and try to unleash these combos with his body shots and mixing it into the head. I just don't see that playing well for him against Robert Whitaker, because Robert Whitaker, he likes to fight from the outside, pick his jabs, pick his 1-2s. He's not going to put himself in a firefight against Costa. And that's what Costa wants. I think Costa's going to be chasing Robert Whitaker around the octagon. He's just going to get pieced up. Unless he lands a lucky overhand and it lands flush. I mean, that can happen to anybody in the sport. Because what can go wrong will go wrong. But I just don't see that happening. I think Robert Whitaker is going to take this fight pretty decisively. And I don't see him finishing Costa. I see it being a unanimous decision. But a win over Paulo Costa, it cements Robert Whitaker as the number one contender. I mean, we don't know how long that's going to take, because, Izzy moved up to light heavyweight, because I think he's trying to chase John Jones. But a win over Paulo Costa cements that, like, all right, you beat me when I was at my lowest. I was coming off an injury. I didn't really want to be there, this and that. A defined Robert Whitaker is going to be an amazing fight for Israel Adesanya, an amazing fight for anybody. Alright? But that's how I see that playing out, guys. I see Marvin Vettori beating Darren Till, and I see Robert Whitaker beating Paulo Costa. Alright? Put in the comments if you agree with me. Do you not agree with me? We'll have a little discussion. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.